Lauren, 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 you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, Tim, how many times have you had to say that to people?
Oh my goodness, it is constant. It is um, happening still, and we've been on this Zoom environment. We're all used to it now, yet we still are constantly saying you're on mute. So I'd like to say welcome to the Making Team Projects Work video series. This is Tim Franz and Lauren, no longer on mute. Lauren
I
Vicker,
have
sorry, I didn't say
no
your
more
last
than
word.
that to
So,
say because today is actually our third video on communication in teams. And for many of you, it could be the most important because it's communication when your team is working online. And, Tim, I know that you have had way more experience than I have because even pre-pandemic, you were teaching online classes. So could you give us a sense of what you think is the most important for making those team projects work online? That
well, tip number one to me is to make sure that people get to know each other. And this is harder in an online environment. It's harder for me as the instructor. It's harder for the students. If it's hard for us, it's even harder for them. So you have to actually work to help them to get to know one another. Find processes and procedures to do so. Lauren, what's your favorite tip?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think lots of icebreakers, I think is very important.
Mhm.
I think one other tip is to make sure that you know the tools and everyone in the team knows the tools. And remember that we use tools that are synchronous, like when we're all on Zoom together, but also asynchronous, like maybe we're putting a Google Doc together. And so it's important that everyone is aware of what the tools are and how to use them, and that they are compatible. Because if a team agrees that they're going to meet over FaceTime and I'm an Android user, I could be left out of that meeting. So the tools are really important. Anything else that you can add, Tim?
Well, I'm going to follow up and say the tools are so important in matching them to the task too, because our students especially try to drive everything they do with one tool rather than using the right tool. But the final thing I'd say is, as an instructor, as a team leader, really the key is to check in a lot, even more than you would do in face to face. And if you've heard from us on these other things, we're always talking about doing multiple check ins, but here they become essential because you can help your students or your team members improve.
Right. And that's true whether or not you're in a totally online class or even a hybrid class, because the students then don't get to meet face to face quite as often. So I think those are really good tips. We talk more about those in the blog post this week, and you can find the link below this video. So thanks so much, Tim.
Thanks, Lauren. And we look forward to having you back again next week for joining Lauren and me in the Making Team Projects Work video series.
We'll be here.